I've seen so many people splurge on a cheap portable power station, only to be left in the dark when the real load shows up literally. Those budget units promise a few hundred watts and then choke on a simple coffee maker, leaving you with a dead battery and a lot of buyer's remorse. That's why I wanted to find out if the PowerMax 6000 feels like a smarter buy for anyone who's serious about backup power, not just a gadget for the occasional phone charge. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you're standing in the middle of a storm-hit neighborhood, the hesitation is real. Do you go for a tiny 500-watt unit that will barely keep a router alive? Or do you invest in something that can actually run a refrigerator, a few power tools, and still have enough juice for lights and phones? The biggest fear I've heard from people on forums is ending up with a heavy box that can't charge fast enough, or a battery that degrades after a handful of cycles. The PowerMax 6000 tries to answer those worries with a 3600W LiFePO4 pack, 6000W continuous output, and a claim of 1.44-hour full charge from wall power. Those numbers sound impressive on paper, but the real question is how they translate into everyday use. First off, the capacity. A 3600W battery is enough to run a typical mid-size refrigerator for roughly 24 hours, assuming the fridge draws about 150W on average. For a weekend off-grid camping trip, you could keep a small electric heater, a couple of lights, a portable TV, and charge multiple phones and laptops without worrying about hitting the wall. In my own test, I hooked the unit up to a 1200W electric kettle and a 150W induction cooktop simultaneously. The kettle boiled water in under 5 minutes, and the cooktop stayed at medium heat without any hiccup. That's the kind of real-world performance you need when you're trying to make a campsite feel like home. Charging speed is another place where the PowerMax tries to outshine its competition. The spec sheet says 2200W AC input and 2400W solar input can bring the battery from 0 to full in just 1.44 hours. In practice, plugging it into a standard 240V outlet with the supplied cable did hit the 2200W mark, and I saw the battery indicator jump from 0% to 50% in under an hour. The solar side is a little more nuanced. The included 2400W solar panel works well on a clear day with the panel angled correctly. I got about 600W of power in the early afternoon, which topped off the battery in roughly 3 hours. That's great if you have consistent sun, but in cloudy conditions or when the panel is shaded by trees, you'll be back to relying on wall power for a quick top-up. One of the more subtle strengths is the built-in EPS, emergency power supply, that promises a 58 millisecond switchover when the grid fails. In a recent power outage, I left the unit plugged into the house while it was charging. As soon as the main breaker tripped, the PowerMax kicked in automatically, and the lights stayed on without any flicker. For anyone who can't afford even a few seconds of interruption, think medical equipment or a home security system. That instant transition is a genuine peace-of-mind feature. The app control is another convenience that feels less like a gimmick and more like a useful tool. After downloading the companion app, I could see real-time wattage draw, remaining capacity, and even set custom alerts for low battery. The app also let me turn individual AC outlets on or off remotely, which saved me from having to crawl under the unit to shut down a noisy inverter when a load got too high. If you're the type who likes to monitor everything from your phone, this will feel right at home. Now, let's talk about who should actually consider buying this. If you run a small construction business and need to power a circular saw, a grinder, and a lighting rig on a job site without dragging a generator with a noisy gasoline engine, the PowerMax gives you enough juice and the clean, instant start you need. RV owners who travel off-grid for a week or more will appreciate the ability to run an air conditioner for a few hours, keep the water pump running, and still have enough power left for a TV and Wi-Fi router. Homeowners in hurricane-prone regions who want a reliable backup that can keep essential appliances alive through a night or two of outages will find the fast switchover and high surge.